AI agents are reshaping how software is built. Whether you're just getting started or already shipping production systems, these concepts are the foundation. In this video, we cover the first 10 of 30 core agentic engineering concepts every developer should know. Let's go. Concept 1. The agent. An agent is a software system that perceives inputs from the environment, uses a language model to reason about what to do, and takes action through tools. Unlike a simple API call that returns one answer, an agent decides what to do next at every step. Think of it like a smart employee. They receive a task, look at the tools available to them, think about what makes sense, and act, without needing someone to micromanage every single move. Concept 2. The execution model. An agent doesn't run just once. It runs in a loop. First it perceives. It reads the current state of the environment. Then it thinks. The language model decides what to do. Then it acts. It calls a tool, writes an output, or makes a decision. Then it observes the result of that action. And then the loop begins again. Think of a developer debugging. Read the error. Think about the cause. Make a change. Run the tests. Read the new output. Repeat. This loop runs until the task is done or a stopping condition is reached. Concept 3. Agent state. At any point in time, an agent carries a snapshot of everything it knows and everything it is trying to do. This is its state. State includes the current goal, what the agent is working toward. It includes history, the sequence of actions already taken. It includes the context window, everything currently loaded into the language model. And it includes memory, longer-term information stored outside the context window. If the state is lost or corrupted mid-task, the agent loses track of everything. Managing state correctly is one of the hardest and most important parts of building reliable agents. Concept 4. Common agent patterns. There are 3 widely used patterns for structuring how an agent operates. React, short for reason plus act, runs a tight loop. The agent reasons about what to do, acts immediately, reads the result, and reasons again. Plan and execute first builds a complete plan for the entire task, then executes each step in order. Multi-agent distributes the work across multiple specialized agents that pass tasks to each other. React works well for dynamic, exploratory tasks. Plan and execute is better when the steps are predictable. Multi-agent shines when you need different specialists collaborating. Concept 5. Agent config files. Instead of hardcoding how an agent behaves inside the code, you declare it in a configuration file, typically YAML or JSON. This file defines which model to use, which tools the agent can access, whether memory is enabled, and how many steps it is allowed to take. Separating configuration from logic means you can change an agent's behavior just by editing a file. No code changes required. Think of it as a job description. It tells the agent who it is and what it is allowed to do, without you having to rewrite the entire system every time something changes. Concept 6. Reusable workflow files. A workflow file defines a sequence of steps, a process, that an agent can follow. The key word is reusable. Multiple different agents can reference the same workflow file to execute the same process. This is the same principle as a recipe. Different chefs, same recipe, consistent result. Reusable workflow files let you compose complex agent behavior from simple, tested building blocks. They also make debugging easier, because when something goes wrong, you trace it to a specific step in the file, not to scattered logic across the codebase. Concept 7. Workflow frameworks. Building agents from scratch means solving the same infrastructure problems over and over. State management, tool calling, error handling, orchestration. Workflow frameworks solve these problems so you don't have to. LangChain gives you composable building blocks for chaining LLM calls and tools. Autogen enables multi-agent conversations between models. Crew AI focuses on role-based teams where each agent has a defined responsibility. Llama Index specializes in connecting agents to large document collections and retrieval systems. These frameworks sit between your business logic and the underlying infrastructure, abstracting away the complexity. Concept 8. Prompt caching. Every token in a prompt costs processing time and money. If your system prompt is long and doesn't change between calls, a large instruction set or a reference document, you are paying to process the same content over and over again. Prompt caching solves this by storing the processed state of the repeated prefix. On the next call, only the new tokens need to be processed from scratch. Think of it like compiled code. You don't recompile the entire project every time you run one function. Caching can cut costs significantly and reduce latency on calls where the prefix is large and stable. Concept 9. Context rot. Every exchange in a conversation consumes space in the context window. Over many turns, the context fills up with old, outdated, and irrelevant information. The language model starts paying attention to noise as much as signal. Responses become less accurate, less focused, and more expensive. This is context rot. Think of it like trying to concentrate in a room where no one ever stops talking and no one ever leaves. The solution is active context management. Summarize old turns. Remove content that no longer matters, and keep the context window focused on what is actually relevant to the current task. Concept 10. Model Context Protocol, or MCP. When an agent needs to use external resources, a database, a file system, an API, a browser, you would normally write custom integration code for each one. MCP eliminates this by defining a standard protocol. The agent sends requests to an MCP server, and that server exposes all connected resources through a single unified interface. The agent doesn't need to know the implementation details of each tool. It just speaks the protocol. Think of MCP as the USB-C standard for AI tool integration. One port, any compatible device. This makes agents highly extensible without ever touching the core agent logic. That's the first 10 agentic engineering concepts every developer should know. If this video helped you understand how AI agents actually work under the hood, give it a like and share it with someone who is building with agents or preparing for their next technical interview. Part 2 is coming with 10 more concepts. Follow at CapaciteDev on Instagram and TikTok. We publish technical content like this every week to help developers level up and ace their interviews. And don't forget to check the link in our profile. There's a free PDF with 20 real technical interview questions covering junior, intermediate, senior, and staff levels. See you in part 2.